10 hidden female weaknesses men need to know now. Stoicism. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. Lao Tzu. Most men believe that attracting women is about wealth, looks, or charm, but the true secret lies deeper, within psychology, self-mastery, and understanding the hidden emotional triggers that influence attraction. Women, like men, have subconscious desires and vulnerabilities that shape their responses, yet few men take the time to study these dynamics. The principles of modern Stoicism teach us that power lies in control over our actions, emotions, and the way we navigate relationships. By unlocking these Stoic secrets, you will not only become more desirable, but also cultivate a mindset that fosters stronger, more meaningful connections. Are you ready to see attraction from a new perspective? Watch until the end, and let me know in the comments which insight resonates with you the most. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where we apply timeless wisdom to modern relationships. Let's begin. 10 hidden female weaknesses men need to know. Number 1. Emotional certainty. Women by nature are deeply emotional beings, but this does not mean they are slaves to their emotions. Instead, their feelings shape their decisions, particularly in relationships where emotional certainty becomes a hidden but powerful force. If you've ever wondered why a woman seems to test your patience, push your boundaries, or seek reassurance in moments of doubt, it's because at her core, she desires emotional stability, a sense of unwavering security in the relationship. Passion and excitement are fleeting, but stability, that's what truly makes her feel safe. She wants to know that no matter how turbulent life gets, you remain steady, composed, and unshaken. Imagine a storm at sea. If the ship is strong, no matter how violent the waves, it remains afloat. That ship is you. If you crumble at the first sign of emotional distress, she will instinctively feel unsafe, questioning whether you can truly be her anchor. This is why men who embody emotional stability, a fundamental trait of modern Stoicism, naturally attract women on a deep, subconscious level. A man who remains calm in chaos, who listens without reacting impulsively, and who stands firm in his values becomes irresistibly desirable. But the moment a man shows excessive emotional dependence, overreacts to minor issues, or lets his mood be dictated by external circumstances, he starts losing her respect. Why? Because it signals weakness. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom is as relevant today as it was in ancient Rome. When a man masters his emotions, he sends a powerful message. I am in control of my reality. I do not let external circumstances dictate my inner peace. This is the essence of true masculine strength. But let's pause for a moment. Have you ever found yourself reacting out of frustration or insecurity, only to see it push her away? If so, you're not alone. Emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling them wisely. It means standing firm when she's upset, not matching her emotional energy with panic or anger, but instead providing a calming presence. It means not seeking validation from her reactions, but maintaining your own sense of self-worth. The modern world often confuses masculinity with aggression or detachment, but true strength lies in quiet confidence, the ability to stay composed even when tested. This is why women are drawn to men who exhibit stoic confidence, not because they are cold, but because they are reliable. Seneca wisely noted, "He who is brave is free." Freedom, in this case, is emotional independence. When you do not rely on her approval or mood to dictate your own sense of stability, you exude a rare kind of power. So ask yourself, are you truly in control of your emotions, or do you let the chaos around you dictate your inner state? The answer will determine whether you become the emotional anchor she longs for, or just another wave crashing in her life. This principle of modern Stoicism is not about manipulation, but about self-mastery, and through it, you can transform not just your relationships, but your entire way of being. Number 2, women are drawn to what they can't have. Scarcity is a fundamental law of human nature. We long for what is rare, elusive, or seemingly unattainable. This truth is as old as time and governs everything from our desire for wealth and status to our fascination with exclusive luxuries. Women, too, are not exempt from this principle when it comes to attraction. There is a hidden weakness in their nature. They are drawn to what they cannot fully possess. The moment a man makes himself too available, too eager, or too predictable, he risks diminishing his own value in her eyes. As Seneca wisely put it, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. The same applies to relationships. When there is no sense of scarcity, there is no value. Women may enjoy the attention of an always present man, but they won't feel compelled to chase it. On the other hand, a man who maintains his independence, keeps a certain part of himself guarded, and never reveals his full hand will ignite a woman's curiosity and attraction. Attraction is often more about psychology than mere appearance. A man who operates with restraint, who doesn't rush to prove himself, and who allows a woman to wonder about him cultivates an air of intrigue. This is why powerful, high-status men naturally command attention. They are too preoccupied with their purpose to seek validation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." When a man centers his life around his goals rather than a woman's validation, he naturally becomes more desirable. Women chase what feels just out of reach, not what is handed to them on a silver platter. Think about the paradox of romantic pursuits. The ones who beg for love rarely receive it, while those who remain slightly elusive tend to draw others in. The moment a woman feels she has won a man entirely, when there is no longer a challenge, her interest naturally declines. The thrill of pursuit vanishes, and the dynamic shifts from excitement to stagnation. To navigate this, a man must learn the delicate art of balance. He should neither be completely unavailable nor cling to a woman's every move. Instead, he must cultivate self-sufficiency, develop a purpose beyond relationships, and maintain a presence that suggests he is not easily won over. This is not about manipulation, but about understanding the psychology of attraction. A man who values himself will not feel the need to constantly prove his worth to a woman. His actions, mindset, and focus on his own life will do that for him. Stoic secrets teach us the power of restraint, and one of the greatest strengths a man can develop is learning when to hold back. Epictetus advised, "No great thing is created suddenly." Likewise, deep attraction is not built in an instant. It is cultivated through patience, mystery, and self-mastery. By keeping an element of unpredictability, a man keeps a woman engaged. She should wonder when she will see him next, what he is thinking, and whether she truly has all of him. This creates a space for desire to grow. If a man reveals too much too soon, he leaves nothing to be discovered. It is the unknown that fuels intrigue. In modern relationships, where instant gratification is the norm, a man who understands the power of restraint and emotional distance will stand apart. He will not only command a woman's attention, but keep it. The key to sustaining long-term attraction lies in never becoming so easily accessible that one's presence is taken for granted. In doing so, he ensures that her interest never fades, that the pursuit continues, and that he remains a mystery she is forever drawn to. This is the essence of Stoic secrets: holding one's ground, valuing oneself, and never giving everything away at once. Number 3. The unspoken influence of a deep voice and presence. A deep voice and commanding presence hold an unspoken power that most men fail to recognize, yet they are among the strongest psychological triggers for attraction. Studies consistently show that men with deeper voices are perceived as more dominant, confident, and attractive. This isn't just a matter of personal preference or societal conditioning, it's hardwired into human psychology. A deep voice signals high testosterone, strength, and leadership, qualities that on a primal level women associate with protection and stability. But it's not just about voice alone. True attraction stems from the energy a man exudes. Presence is a silent force, a nonverbal language that speaks before words ever leave your lips. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you enter a room, and the way you engage with the world. A man who moves with certainty, who speaks deliberately, and without unnecessary hesitation naturally draws attention. Women pick up on these subtle cues instinctively. Your posture, eye contact, and the cadence of your voice all send signals about your level of self-assurance. A weak presence, characterized by nervous fidgeting, poor posture, or a hesitant voice, communicates insecurity, which is immediately detectable. Women aren't just listening to what you say, they are feeling your energy. The Stoics understood this well. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions, Marcus Aurelius once wrote. If you aim to command respect, you must first cultivate it within yourself, through your actions, discipline, and self-perception. Presence is not about forcing dominance, it's about embodying quiet confidence so deeply that it becomes second nature. When you truly master this, you no longer seek validation. Instead, people are naturally drawn to your energy. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, a strength that comes from within, not from external approval. In a world where digital communication has made human connection more superficial, presence is more powerful than ever. Many men try to rely solely on words to impress, overlooking the reality that impact is felt before it is heard. If you want to stand out, focus on how you move through the world. Walk with purpose, speak with clarity, and let your energy speak, louder than anything you say. Attraction isn't about using the right words or forcing an image of confidence. It's about self-mastery. When a man stands tall with an air of quiet certainty, he becomes magnetic, not because he is trying to be, but because he is rooted in his own strength. The most powerful presence isn't about overpowering others, it's about being so deeply secure in yourself that others naturally gravitate toward your energy. And that kind of presence? It's rare, it's powerful, and it cannot be faked. It must be earned. Number 4. Women can't resist a man who walks away. I want you to picture this. A man deeply in love with a woman finds himself at a crossroads. She's pulling away, acting indifferent, testing his patience with hot and cold behavior. He feels the urge to chase her, to fix things, to prove his worth. He thinks if he just does more, loves harder, or shows her how much he cares, she'll come back. But here's the hard truth. When a man chases, he loses. Not because love isn't worth fighting for, but because desperation is repelling. Women, like all people, value what they believe they might lose. It's human nature. The more available and eager something is, the less valuable it seems. This is rooted in psychology, in the principle of loss aversion. What is scarce becomes precious. A man who is willing to walk away when disrespected, who values himself more than fleeting approval, creates an undeniable force of attraction. He's not playing games. He's simply demonstrating self-respect, a trait that cannot be faked. I've seen it happen countless times. A man who refuses to beg, who holds himself with quiet confidence, who is willing to say, "I'm not accepting this treatment," he becomes magnetic. Think of the men who command respect in any room. They aren't the ones pleading for attention. They are the ones who can walk away with their dignity intact. Women, whether consciously or subconsciously, respect a man who stands firm in his values. When a woman senses that you are not emotionally dependent on her, that your happiness is not tied to her validation, she will see you differently. This isn't about manipulation, nor is it about withholding affection to gain power. It's about embodying a mindset of self-worth so deeply that you never feel the need to beg for someone's presence in your life. Because the moment you do, you lose their respect. And respect is the foundation of attraction. A man who tolerates disrespect sends a message that he lacks boundaries, and people, whether they mean to or not, tend to push those who have weak boundaries. If a woman knows she can treat you poorly without consequence, she may start to test your limits even more. But when she realizes you are willing to walk away from anything that does not serve you, her perception shifts. You become a challenge, a man of value, someone who is not easily swayed. And here's the secret. The moment you stop chasing is the moment she starts wondering if she made a mistake. This is one of the most powerful Stoic secrets. Your strength comes from within, not from external validation. You must be willing to lose someone in order to truly keep them. That's the paradox of attraction. A man who stands firm in his values and refuses to tolerate disrespect forces others to level up or leave. And either way, he wins. He either keeps his self-respect, or he walks away from someone who does not value him. This is not just about relationships, it's about life. People will treat you the way you allow them to. If you are always available, always chasing, always proving yourself, you are giving away your power. The strongest men are the ones who know their worth, who set their standards, and who are not afraid to walk alone rather than be in a situation that drains them. So ask yourself, are you standing firm in who you are, or are you bending for approval? Are you leading your life with confidence and purpose, or are you seeking validation from those who may never truly appreciate you? Because the answer to that question will determine the kind of respect and attraction you command in life. Number 5. A man with a mission is her kryptonite. A man with a mission is like a force of nature, steady, determined, and unwavering. His purpose isn't just a part of his life, it's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, he drifts, reacting to life instead of shaping it. But when a man is locked in on a goal, whether it's building a business, mastering a craft, or carving out a unique legacy, he radiates something rare, a quiet, unshakable confidence. This is what makes him truly powerful. A man with a mission doesn't just wake up and go through the motions, he moves with intention, with clarity, with drive. And that is his greatest strength. You see, a woman's deepest attraction isn't to a man's physical looks, his wealth, or even his charm. It's to his sense of purpose. She is drawn to a man who knows where he's going and refuses to be swayed from his path. His ambition, his self-discipline, his ability to stay focused despite distractions, these qualities make him magnetic. This is modern Stoicism in action. The understanding that external validation is fleeting, but a strong inner purpose is unbreakable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." A man who shapes his life around his mission, rather than seeking approval from others, naturally commands respect. But the moment he shifts his focus, making a woman the center of his world, sacrificing his ambitions to win her favor, his appeal begins to fade. Women don't want to be a man's sole focus, they want to be part of something greater. They admire men who have the discipline to stay committed to their journey, men who don't hesitate in the face of adversity. Have you ever noticed how a man who is deeply engaged in his passion seems to carry an effortless confidence? That's because his self-worth isn't dependent on a woman's attention. He doesn't sit by the phone waiting for her to text back. He doesn't drop everything at a moment's notice just to keep her interested. Instead, he moves with purpose, and in doing so, he naturally commands attention. A woman respects a man who stands for something, a man who doesn't waver, who lives with intention. She senses his strength, his direction, and she is drawn to it. But the opposite is also true. A man without a mission is easily overlooked. He lacks direction, and that uncertainty translates into weakness. A woman can sense when a man is lost, when he lacks a deeper purpose, and over time, her interest fades. Attraction is not just about chemistry, It's about respect. And respect is only given to a man who stands firm in his purpose. If you don't already have a clear mission in life, now is the time to find one. What are you building? What legacy are you leaving behind? Are you chasing fleeting pleasures? Or are you carving out a path that will stand the test of time? The modern world is filled with distractions, but a man who stays focused on his purpose rises above them. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, anchoring yourself in your mission so that external circumstances, whether they be relationships, setbacks, or temporary failures, do not shake your foundation. A man who understands this moves differently. He doesn't seek validation, he creates value. He doesn't chase people, he builds something worth noticing. And in doing so, he naturally attracts the right kind of people, including the right woman. The world doesn't respect a man who waits for permission to pursue his dreams. It respects the man who takes action, who moves forward with conviction, who refuses to be swayed by anything outside of his control. So ask yourself, are you living with intention? Are you building something meaningful? Are you the kind of man who stands firm in his purpose? Or are you letting the world dictate your path? The answer to that question will define not just your relationships, but your entire life. Let me ask you this. Are you ready to be the kind of man who never has to beg for respect? A man who can walk away not out of arrogance, but because he knows his worth? If your answer is yes, then take action now. Like this video and comment below. I choose value, not desperation, because real strength doesn't come from holding on. It comes from knowing you never have to. Number 6. The paradox of controlled vulnerability. Controlled vulnerability is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful traits a man can cultivate. It exists within a paradox. Women are naturally drawn to men who can be emotionally open, but only when that openness is tempered with strength and self-mastery. The key here is balance. Vulnerability becomes attractive when it doesn't compromise a man's composure, sense of purpose, or inner stability. If a man overshares, constantly seeks emotional reassurance, or appears overly fragile, he risks being seen as needy or unstable, qualities that repel rather than attract. The Stoics understood this well. A man who processes his struggles, learns from them, and then shares them with a sense of growth and resilience demonstrates emotional intelligence. This is far more attractive than someone who unloads unchecked emotions or looks for validation. The mistake many men make is confusing vulnerability with emotional overflow. Stoic secrets teach that true strength comes from emotional regulation, not suppression. A man who can reveal his struggles while maintaining composure creates a powerful dynamic. A woman feels special because she sees a deeper, authentic side of him, yet she never feels burdened by his emotional weight. Modern culture often pushes men toward full transparency, yet timing and delivery matter as much as honesty. If you reveal your emotions from a place of self-control rather than dependence, you project emotional availability without appearing weak. Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Hardship and struggle shape a man, but how he presents those struggles determines how others perceive him. A man who says, "This was difficult, but I overcame it," exudes strength and maturity. In contrast, a man who says, "I don't know how to handle this," risks losing the respect of those around him. The key is to make vulnerability a tool for connection rather than a sign of instability. Women are naturally drawn to men who offer emotional safety, and that safety is built when a man navigates his emotions with wisdom, not impulse. In relationships, controlled vulnerability fosters trust and deepens intimacy while preserving attraction. If you can open up without becoming emotionally dependent, you create an environment where she feels secure, understood, and respected. This balance, one of the great Stoic secrets, is what separates men who are admired from those who are seen as weak. Number 7. Women are programmed to test your strength. Women are programmed to test your strength, not out of malice, but as an intrinsic part of their nature. This behavior, deeply rooted in evolutionary psychology, serves as a way for women to gauge a man's emotional stability, resilience, and capacity to provide security. These tests manifest in various forms, challenging your opinions, creating minor conflicts, or withdrawing emotionally to see how you respond. The truth is, these are not deliberate attempts to frustrate you. Rather, they are unconscious mechanisms designed to ensure that the man they choose is strong enough to handle life's challenges. The essence of modern Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies not in reacting emotionally, but in responding with wisdom and composure. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you find yourself getting defensive or flustered when tested, it signals insecurity, something that instantly diminishes attraction and respect. Instead, a man who maintains his composure, stays firm in his convictions, and refuses to be emotionally swayed by external provocations demonstrates a strength that commands admiration. Women instinctively respect men who don't crumble under pressure, who can navigate emotional turbulence without losing their grounding. This is why a man who confidently upholds his beliefs, without needing external validation or engaging in unnecessary arguments, is seen as a pillar of stability. In modern relationships, these tests serve as a litmus test of your ability to remain grounded in the face of adversity. If she questions your decisions, disagrees with your views, or momentarily pulls away, she is not necessarily trying to push you away. She is trying to see if you waver. A man who remains composed and unshaken, who neither chases nor retreats in frustration, sends a powerful message. He is in control of himself. A man who internalizes this lesson does not let fleeting, emotional tests disrupt his peace. Instead, he recognizes them for what they are, challenges that reinforce his steadiness. In a practical sense, imagine a woman disagreeing with your stance on an important issue. Instead of becoming defensive or needing her approval, you calmly stand by your perspective, engaging in the conversation with logic rather than emotion. This subtle yet firm stance signals confidence, self-respect, and an ability to handle challenges with poise, traits that are undeniably attractive. Emotional steadiness, not blind aggression or passive submission, is what truly makes a man formidable. By embracing modern Stoicism, you cultivate a mindset that thrives on inner control rather than external validation. The moment you stop fearing these tests and start seeing them as opportunities to demonstrate your unshakable nature, you transcend the need for approval. Women, consciously or not, are drawn to men who exude this quiet, unwavering strength. In the end, the only validation you need is the one you give yourself. And once you master that, everything else, including respect, admiration, and attraction, falls into place. If you're still here, it's clear that you understand true strength isn't about reacting impulsively, but about staying calm and in control. Join the discussion by commenting, "Strength is composure," or share your own definition. Let's continue learning and growing together. More powerful insights on modern Stoicism and Stoic secrets are coming soon. Number 8. Confidence in the face of rejection. Confidence in the face of rejection is a rare but powerful trait, one that separates men who are ruled by their emotions from those who command them. You and I both know that rejection is a part of life, yet most people allow it to define them. But what if I told you that the way you handle rejection determines not only how others see you, but how you see yourself? Women are naturally drawn to men who don't flinch in the face of rejection, men who treat it as a mere passing moment, not a verdict on their worth. When a man carries himself with unwavering self-assurance, he exudes an energy that is impossible to ignore. I'm not talking about arrogance or pretending not to care. No, I mean the deep, inner confidence of a man who knows his own value, a man who does not let someone else's opinion shake his foundation. Imagine this. A guy approaches. A woman asks her out and she turns him down with a dismissive shrug. He doesn't frown, doesn't plead, and certainly doesn't lash out. Instead, he smiles and says, "No worries, your loss," before casually moving on. That right there is emotional maturity in action. It tells the world, I am whole, whether you accept me or not. And that's attractive. Women respect men who are emotionally unshaken, men who don't crumble or overreact. A man who reacts to rejection with frustration, anger, or insecurity reveals his deepest weakness, his dependence on external validation. And what's worse than a man whose confidence is at the mercy of others? Women, whether they admit it or not, admire men who remain unbothered in the face of setbacks. It signals strength, resilience, and most importantly, self-respect. Think about it. If you're truly confident, why would a single rejection matter? Why would one person's disinterest define your worth? It wouldn't. That's the secret. The Stoic secrets of attraction lie in your ability to remain composed, to embrace rejection as part of life rather than a personal attack. History is full of men who succeeded not because they avoided rejection, but because they mastered their response to it. Take Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, yet every failure only reinforced his determination. The same principle applies to confidence in dating and life. If you can see rejection as nothing more than a momentary inconvenience, you become untouchable. And when you reach that level of inner strength, you will notice something incredible. People will begin to gravitate toward you. Why? Because real confidence is magnetic. It's a signal to the world that you are not easily shaken, that you are a man in control of his emotions, not the other way around. So I ask you, how do you handle rejection? Do you allow it to weaken you, or do you use it as a tool for growth? Every rejection is an opportunity to refine your resilience, to strengthen your character, and to prove, if only to yourself, that you are greater than a single moment of disappointment. In the end, rejection doesn't define you. Your response to it does. Master that and you will unlock the true power of self-assurance, the kind that makes a man undeniably compelling. That's the essence of Stoic secrets, the realization that no external rejection can shake the foundation of a man who knows his worth. Number 9. Women obsess over men who are hard to read. Women are naturally drawn to mystery, to the enigma of a man they can't quite figure out, and this psychological pull is one of the most overlooked yet powerful aspects of attraction. When a man is an open book, when he lays all his emotions bare too soon, he unknowingly removes the element of curiosity that keeps a woman emotionally engaged. The truth is, women don't just want to know everything about you right away. They want to discover you piece by piece, like an unfolding story that keeps them turning the pages. If you hand them the entire book on day one, the suspense disappears and with it much of their desire. Have you ever noticed how women are drawn to men who don't always say exactly what they're thinking, who don't immediately express every emotion they feel? That's because unpredictability fuels attraction. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about maintaining a sense of depth, a presence that makes her wonder about you, that challenges her to get closer. A man who is selective about what he shares, who reveals himself gradually, creates a dynamic that keeps her invested. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, holding your ground, maintaining control over what you reveal, and not giving away your power by seeking validation through emotional oversharing. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." That includes learning how to balance openness with mystery, to resist the urge to lay everything out at once just because it feels comfortable in the moment. If you find yourself over-explaining, oversharing, or constantly seeking reassurance, ask yourself, am I leading with strength, or am I trying to force a connection out of insecurity? A woman's attraction thrives on the feeling that she still has something left to uncover about you. The unknown is exciting. It creates longing, anticipation, and a desire to move closer. Imagine the difference between a puzzle that's already put together and one that's missing just a few pieces. Which one do you feel more compelled to complete? The same principle applies in relationships. A man who keeps a woman guessing, within reason, allows her to become emotionally invested in solving him. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being intentional, knowing when to share and when to let things unfold naturally. A high-value man doesn't oversaturate a woman with his emotions or thoughts in a desperate attempt to secure her interest. He understands that attraction is a slow burn, not an instant blaze. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts revolve around seeking approval or constantly proving yourself, you will never embody true confidence. Instead, when you embrace the power of subtlety, you create an aura of quiet strength that women can't resist. So ask yourself, are you allowing mystery to work in your favor, or are you giving away too much too soon? The balance between openness and restraint is where real attraction is built, and when you master this, you don't just become more desirable, you become a man who naturally commands respect and attention without even trying. This is the power of modern Stoicism in relationships, the ability to maintain intrigue while remaining true to yourself. Number 10. A man who controls his desires. Controls everything. The greatest power a man can possess is mastery over his desires. In a world where instant gratification is at every turn, self-control is the rarest and most respected trait a man can develop. Women are drawn to men who govern their impulses not because it makes them unattainable, but because it signals strength, direction, and unwavering purpose. A man who is easily swayed by fleeting pleasures, whether it be the pursuit of validation, attention, or short-lived indulgences, appears weak, lacking in discipline and direction. As Seneca once said, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. When a man learns to control his desires instead of being controlled by them, he steps into true power. He is not desperate for attention, he does not seek approval, and he is not at the mercy of external temptations. Instead, he operates with a higher mission, one that transcends immediate pleasures. Women subconsciously recognize this strength and find themselves drawn to it. Unlike men who eagerly chase, a man of control commands respect, admiration, and intrigue. A man with self-discipline understands that true fulfillment does not come from indulgence but from restraint and focus. This principle is deeply embedded in Stoic secrets, learning when to say no, when to step back, and when to prioritize the long term over the immediate. A man who harnesses his willpower and stays steadfast in his goals becomes naturally attractive, not just to women, but to the world at large. He is the man who does not crumble under temptation, who does not need constant validation, and who does not let his desires dictate his path. This is why women find men with a mission in life irresistibly compelling. They respect a man who walks away from what does not serve his higher purpose. The moment you stop seeking approval, chasing validation, or compromising your standards for momentary pleasure, is the moment women begin to see you as a force of nature rather than a man who can be easily swayed. There is an undeniable magnetism to a man who values himself enough to maintain control. He knows when to step away, when to remain silent, and when to act with intention. In contrast, a man who mindlessly pursues women, status, or quick rewards reveals a lack of internal mastery, making him appear weak and easily manipulated. A woman may entertain such a man for a time, but she will never truly respect him. Respect is earned through discipline, restraint, and the ability to walk away from anything that does not align with a greater vision. Epictetus wisely stated, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." A man who lives by this truth radiates a quiet confidence that makes him deeply attractive. He is the man who stands firm when others fold, who moves with purpose while others are distracted, and who commands attention without demanding it. In today's world, where distractions are endless and self-indulgence is encouraged, the rarest man is the one who exercises restraint. The man who can say no to meaningless pursuits, who can resist the urge to prove himself constantly, and who values his own time above all else, is the man who stands out. This is the essence of Stoic secrets, mastering oneself to master everything, else women are instinctively drawn to men who are in control of their emotions, their actions, and their desires. They chase the man who does not chase them because he embodies something greater: self-mastery, purpose, and a deep-rooted confidence that cannot be shaken. The greatest strength a man can cultivate is the ability to control himself, for in doing so, he controls everything. Looking back at these hidden weaknesses, a common theme emerges. Women are drawn to men who have self-control, purpose, and emotional stability. When a man understands these dynamics, he doesn't just attract women, he earns their respect and long-term desire. In the end, what women truly seek isn't a man who chases them endlessly, but one of high value, someone they have to work to win over. But understanding these weaknesses is only half the equation. To truly master attraction and maintain long-term influence, you need to go deeper into the principles that allow you to harness and control them. This is where the next level of insights comes in, giving you the power to not just attract but sustain a magnetic presence in any relationship. Additional insights into women's hidden weaknesses. If you thought Section A revealed some eye-opening truths, just wait until Section B. The next insights will completely change the way you understand attraction and masculine power. Don't miss out. Number 1. Mastering emotional detachment. Mastering emotional detachment is one of the most powerful traits a man can develop, not only for his own peace of mind, but also for the natural attraction it creates. Women are instinctively drawn to men who possess emotional control, not because they want a man who is cold or distant, but because they respect strength, stability, and the ability to navigate life without being easily shaken. Emotional detachment does not mean suppressing emotions. It means mastering them, ensuring that feelings do not dictate actions. A man who has achieved this level of control does not react impulsively to challenges, does not seek external validation, and does not allow temporary emotions to cloud his judgment. Women subconsciously test men, sometimes by provoking emotional responses because they want to see if a man is truly grounded in himself. The man who remains calm under pressure, who responds with steady composure instead of reacting emotionally, immediately earns respect. This level of self-mastery signals reliability, maturity, and leadership, qualities that women find deeply attractive. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca once said, and this applies directly to emotional control. Many men get caught in their own feelings, overanalyzing situations, or becoming too invested in fleeting emotions, losing sight of their purpose. But the man who operates with emotional detachment understands that reactions should be based on principles, not impulses. In modern Stoicism, the ability to detach from emotion while still being emotionally intelligent is a crucial skill. When you remain centered, you create an aura of unshakable confidence that is rare and compelling. Women find security in men who are not swayed by moods, who do not crumble under stress, and who can stand firm in their beliefs. This does not mean avoiding vulnerability. It means choosing when and how to express emotions in a way that aligns with wisdom rather than weakness. Emotional steadiness also sets clear boundaries, ensuring that a man does not become overly dependent on others for his sense of worth. Too often, men who rely on external validation end up feeling lost when relationships or circumstances change. But the man who has trained himself to remain composed, who understands that his value is not determined by a single moment, a single test, or a single emotional trigger, is the man who commands lasting respect. Modern Stoicism teaches that control over the self is the highest form of strength, and a man who embodies this principle naturally commands attention without having to demand it. Women respect the man who stands firm, who does not let temporary frustrations dictate his actions, and who remains clear-headed even when emotions run high. A practical example of this principle in action is when a woman attempts to provoke an emotional reaction, whether through frustration, disagreement, or challenge. The average man might react impulsively, getting defensive or showing insecurity. But the man who has mastered emotional detachment simply observes, processes, and responds with calm certainty. This is the essence of emotional mastery, the ability to remain unaffected by external attempts to shake your composure. When you practice this consistently, you become a force of stability, and in turn, you attract people, not just women, but anyone, who values true strength. The key to attraction, success, and inner peace is not found in emotional reactivity, but in emotional control. And that control? It makes you not only more attractive, but also more powerful in every area of life. Emotional detachment is a skill that separates the ordinary from the exceptional, a true mark of strength, confidence, and inner mastery. When you learn to control your emotions rather than letting them control you, you gain a power that few possess. Are you ready to cultivate this unshakable presence and step into the best version of yourself? Drop a comment below and say, "I choose strength over reaction," to show your commitment to emotional mastery and self-control. This is your first step toward becoming a man who commands respect, stands firm under pressure, and embodies the essence of modern Stoicism. Number 2. The attraction of silent confidence. Imagine a man who never feels the need to prove himself, yet the moment he enters a room, he commands respect. He doesn't chase attention, but attention naturally gravitates toward him. His presence speaks louder than words. He carries himself with quiet assurance, and people, especially women, can't help but notice. This is the power of silent confidence. Unlike the man who brags about his achievements or constantly seeks approval, the man with silent confidence lets his actions and demeanor do the talking. He is at ease with himself, unshaken by external validation and secure in his own worth, and that's exactly why he stands out. True confidence isn't loud, it doesn't need to be announced. It's reflected in the way a man moves, how he remains composed in any situation, and how he walks through life with purpose. When a man is truly confident, he never has to tell people. People just know. Women in particular are deeply drawn to this kind of strength because it signals stability and emotional security. It makes them feel safe. A man who embodies silent confidence doesn't react impulsively, doesn't try to dominate conversations, and never begs for approval. He listens, observes, and speaks only when necessary, always measured, always in control. And this quiet control creates an aura of mystery and power that makes him irresistible. Think about the strong, silent archetype, the man whose presence alone demands attention. He doesn't boast or seek validation because he already knows his worth. This is one of the greatest Stoic secrets. Your confidence must come from within, not from external approval. If your sense of self depends on others recognizing you, then it is weak. But if it comes from self-respect, from knowing who you are and what you stand for, then it is unshakable. The more you develop this inner confidence, the more naturally attractive you become. Women can sense it. They are wired to be drawn to men who are sure of themselves, not those who seek their approval. And this doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being so secure in yourself that you don't need to perform or prove anything. Picture this. A man walks into a social event. He doesn't push to be the loudest in the room, nor does he shrink into the background. He moves with deliberate ease, his posture relaxed yet strong. His gaze is steady, his voice calm and confident. He doesn't over-explain, doesn't try to impress, and never lets insecurity dictate his behavior. And that's exactly why people are drawn to him. Women notice him, not because he demands attention, but because his presence naturally commands it. This is the essence of true power. The less you seek to impress, the more impressive you become. Silent confidence isn't arrogance, it's the ability to trust yourself so deeply that you don't need validation from anyone. It's the kind of confidence that keeps you steady in life's storms, prevents you from reacting emotionally to every challenge, and earns you respect before you even speak. And here's the secret. The more comfortable you are with yourself, the more confident you appear. The more you focus on mastering your emotions, your mindset, and your purpose, the more effortlessly attractive you become. So, ask yourself, are you living with silent confidence, or are you still chasing validation? Do you trust yourself enough to let your presence speak for itself? Because the men who truly win in life, the ones who naturally command respect and attraction, are the ones who understand this truth. Confidence isn't something you show, it's something you embody. It's one of the most powerful Stoic secrets you can master. The more you embrace it, the more control you'll have, not just over yourself, but over how the world perceives you. Number 3, the power of absence. The power of absence is one of the most underrated yet effective forces in attraction, and if you understand how to use it, you hold a key that most men overlook. You see, constantly being available, always, chasing, always responding. These behaviors may feel like you're proving your devotion, but in reality, they diminish your value. A man who is always present, always waiting, sends a message that he has no greater purpose beyond seeking validation from a woman, and that's not attractive. Women are drawn to men who are self-sufficient, who have their own lives, their own goals, their own passions. This is where modern Stoicism comes into play. The ability to remain composed, detached from unnecessary emotional dependence, and focused on something greater than momentary gratification. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you are not constantly available, when you allow space to exist, something interesting happens. Desire grows. Women, like all people, value what is scarce. If you're always there, always responding instantly, always seeking her attention, she won't have the opportunity to miss you, to crave your presence. And craving is what creates emotional investment. A man who understands this knows that by pulling back, not out of manipulation but out of genuine purpose, he naturally becomes more intriguing. He lets her wonder when she'll see him again, lets her sit with the anticipation, and in that space, attraction deepens. Imagine this. You go on an amazing date, you both have a great time, and instead of texting her the moment she walks away, you let the night settle. You allow her to relive those moments in her own mind, to think about you, to feel that subtle pull of missing you. If you immediately flood her with messages or demand her attention, you rob her of that longing, that space where attraction thrives. This isn't about playing games, it's about having a life so full, a purpose so strong, that you naturally give her the opportunity to desire you, rather than just passively accept your presence. Modern Stoicism teaches that a man should never attach his sense of self-worth to another person's approval. The man who knows his value doesn't need to chase. He simply exists in a way that others gravitate toward him. But the man who overinvests, who places a woman at the center of his world before she's earned that place, weakens his own position. If you're always there, always waiting, it signals a lack of boundaries and emotional neediness. Women respect men who respect themselves, and one of the most powerful ways to demonstrate self-respect is by valuing your own time, your own space, your own mission. Are you living in a way that naturally cultivates attraction? Are you allowing space for a woman to invest in you? Or are you trying to force connection through constant availability? The truth is, scarcity breeds value, and value commands respect. If you want to be truly irresistible, don't chase, create space. Let her miss you. Let her wonder, let her feel the absence, because in that space, desire is born. Number 4. Emotional intelligence in relationships. Emotional intelligence is the foundation of deep, meaningful relationships, and women are naturally drawn to men who can navigate emotions with wisdom and self-awareness. It's not just about understanding your own feelings, but also about recognizing, interpreting, and responding to the emotions of your partner in a way that fosters connection rather than conflict. A man with high emotional intelligence knows when to listen, when to speak, and when to simply provide presence. He doesn't react impulsively to emotional triggers, but instead maintains composure, offering understanding rather than escalation. Many conflicts arise not from the situation itself, but from misinterpretations and emotional overreactions. Women feel deeply secure with men who understand how to respond without letting their own emotions spiral out of control. A woman wants to feel heard, not dismissed, and she values a man who can hold space for her emotions without trying to immediately fix everything. This is where true emotional intelligence comes into play. Being able to read between the lines, picking up on nonverbal cues like body language and tone, and understanding that sometimes the most powerful response is simply to be present and engaged. Communication isn't just about words, it's about energy, timing, and intent. A man who can communicate without allowing tension to escalate, who knows when to give space and when to offer support, is infinitely more attractive than one who reacts emotionally or lacks awareness. In modern relationships, where emotions often run high and misunderstandings are common, mastering this skill is a game changer. A man who practices emotional discipline doesn't avoid emotions, he understands them, processes them, and responds with clarity and wisdom. When a woman expresses frustration, the emotionally intelligent man doesn't get defensive or shut down. He listens, acknowledges her feelings, and responds in a way that calms the storm rather than fuels it. He creates an environment of trust, where his partner knows she can express herself freely without fear of judgment or unnecessary conflict. This is one of the Stoic secrets to maintaining both attraction and emotional depth in a relationship, remaining centered even when emotions fluctuate. Women don't expect perfection. They crave emotional safety, and that safety is built through consistency, understanding, and self-mastery. In a world that often prioritizes emotional reactivity over emotional wisdom, men who cultivate self-awareness and composure stand out as rare and valuable. By developing emotional intelligence, you not only deepen your relationships, but also strengthen your own sense of control and purpose. True strength is not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them, and that mastery makes all the difference in how a woman experiences your presence. This is why emotionally intelligent men don't just attract women, they create lasting connections built on respect, trust, and deep understanding. The ability to stay grounded, communicate effectively, and support without smothering is one of the greatest Stoic secrets you can apply to your relationships, setting you apart as a man of true depth and stability. If you've made it this far, you're already taking the first steps toward mastering emotional intelligence, one of the most powerful skills a man can have in relationships. The ability to stay grounded, listen without reacting impulsively, and create emotional safety is what sets you apart. Now, it's time to commit to this growth. Drop a comment below saying, "Strength and stillness," to show that you're embracing the power of self-mastery and emotional control. Your journey to becoming a man of true depth and stability is just beginning. Stay the course. Number 5. Resilience in the face of challenges. Resilience is one of the most attractive traits a man can possess because it signifies strength, determination, and the ability to withstand life's inevitable challenges. Women are naturally drawn to men who remain steadfast in the face of adversity, who refuse to be broken by failure or setbacks, and who press forward regardless of obstacles. A man who embodies resilience is not only demonstrating his ability to survive difficulties but also proving that he has the fortitude to lead, protect, and provide stability. This unwavering nature fosters a deep sense of trust and security in a relationship, as women instinctively seek a partner who will not crumble under pressure but will stand firm in the storms of life. A truly resilient man is not just unyielding in his pursuit of success. He is also adaptable, learning from failures and growing stronger because of them. As Seneca wisely said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." When a man refuses to let hardship define him, and instead uses it as a stepping stone for personal growth, he becomes someone worth relying on. This quality is especially vital in modern relationships, where life is often unpredictable and challenges come from all directions: career struggles, financial pressures, personal losses, and emotional upheavals. Women admire men who do not become victims of their circumstances but instead take ownership of their lives and push forward with unshakable resolve. A resilient man does not dwell on failure. He accepts it, extracts the lesson, and keeps moving. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, the practice of mastering one's emotions and perspective rather than allowing external events to dictate one's state of mind. In real life, you see this in a man who faces career setbacks yet refuses to be defeated. He assesses his mistakes, adapts, and continues striving toward his goals. He doesn't complain or wallow in self-pity. He takes action. His resilience not only makes him more successful over time, but also makes him incredibly attractive to women, who see in him the rare and valuable quality of unwavering strength. A woman wants to know that if life throws difficulties their way, her partner will not give in to despair but will stand firm, find solutions, and navigate the storm with confidence. Emotional resilience is just as crucial as physical resilience. When relationships face hardships, a man who remains calm, rational, and focused is someone she can trust. In contrast, a man who panics, lashes out, or gives up when things get tough reveals a weakness that is deeply unattractive. Modern Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, from mastering one's emotions and remaining steady, regardless of the chaos outside. When you cultivate this resilience, you become a man of immense value, not just in relationships, but in all aspects of life. Women respect and admire men who do not let hardship define them, but instead use it as fuel to become stronger. In the end, the ability to rise after a fall, to maintain composure when tested, and to keep moving forward, no matter what, is what truly separates the weak from the strong. And that's the key. Mastering yourself is the foundation of attraction and meaningful relationships. When you apply these Stoic secrets, you'll see that true strength doesn't come from chasing validation, but from cultivating inner confidence and emotional stability. Women are naturally drawn to men who embody these principles, not because of mind games, but because of the deep respect and trust that true composure inspires. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, learning to lead with quiet strength, staying unfazed in the face of challenges, and becoming the kind of man who naturally commands attention without demanding it. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more insights on mastering relationships, self-discipline, and personal growth. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming video. Remember, the path to becoming a high-value man isn't about changing others, it's about mastering yourself. Stay grounded, stay strong, and as always, let Stoicism guide your way.